Today, we're going to be talking about the 10 Midjourney features that change the game for business owners and entrepreneurs. Hi everyone, my name is Garik Tate. I'm an AI futurist and strategy consultant. I get businesses acquired at higher valuations through a mixture of automation, AI development, and hiring elite talent. Now, the very first feature that you need to know about with Midjourney is not going to be found on Discord, it's going to be found on the Midjourney website. The Midjourney website is a fantastic resource in order to learn more about what you can be doing with Midjourney outside of just creating funny memes or pretty art. If we go on to Midjourney, you're going to find a treasure trove of concepts and ideas that you can use inside of your business to create marketing materials, YouTube thumbnails, website designs, and other online assets. Let's go for an example here. Did you know that Midjourney can be used in order to create website designs? Well, in order to know how to prompt that, just go to midjourney.com and type in website design. And here you're given a collection of different designs and concepts that other artists have made with Midjourney. And most importantly, you can also see the prompts that they use so you can get similar results. Whether you're making a website for your recipe company, a travel agency, a pet store, or really any other business, you can use Midjourney in order to create assets you wouldn't have otherwise thought of. That brings us to our second feature. Let's say you found a design that is something similar to what you want to create. But when you try to use it on the Midjourney Discord, you're not getting the same kinds of results. Or you feel like you need to fine-tune it a little bit more and you need a little bit more inspiration. Well, that's where the Describe feature comes in with Midjourney. With the Midjourney Describe feature, it takes the Midjourney process of converting prompts into images and it reverses it. So instead of uploading a prompt and getting a series of images, you upload one image and you get a series of prompts. So here you can see the prompt that they use, and here you can see other prompts that Midjourney thinks would generate a similar design. What I like to do is I like to mix and match these ideas in order to create my own prompts to get a similar aesthetic and a similar style. On top of that, you can just run it easily from here by pressing whichever prompt it is that you want. Let's say we go with prompt number 1. I'm just going to click submit. We're going to be talking about this feature in a moment. And here's what it looks like when it's done. You can see multiple styles, all similar but different because the prompt was different. So you can use this as an opportunity to create new ideas and new prompt suggestions in order to really get the design that you're going for. Let's talk about some of the settings and features that we have set up inside of our business in order to use Midjourney appropriately across our department. The most important features that you want to consider changing inside your Midjourney settings are, first, fast mode or relax mode. You'll choose this based on how many fast credits you use and how much content you want to create. If you want to create a lot of content very, very cheaply and you don't really care how long it takes, relax mode is the way to go. At a lot of subscription levels, you actually get unlimited number of relaxed credits. Second, you might want to consider changing your remix mode. And last is stealth mode versus public. Now, you will choose which one of these works most appropriately based on whether or not you want your images published on the Midjourney website. For most businesses, we would rather not. However, turning into stealth mode does cost a higher subscription amount, and so that's something you'll have to consider. And lastly, you have to decide which version of Midjourney you want to use. Very often, it's best to go with the most recent version. However, often the most recent version is an alpha and therefore does not have all the features that you might want to use. So for the majority of this video, we're going to be using version 5.2 as it is the most stable and has the most features we want to be highlighting. But stick around for near the end where we're going to be talking about some cutting edge features in version 6. Pro tip. One thing that you can also consider, and this is something that we do in our company, is we create a single shared account for our Midjourney usage. This allows us to cut costs by not having to create a series of different Midjourney accounts for every single one of our employees. And then we create a shared server and organize people's work by department and by name in order for everyone to keep track of their individual work. Feature 4, uploading an image. Let's say that you want to create a YouTube thumbnail or some sort of asset you're going to post on social media that incorporates your face. If you're going to be doing something like that, you might want to consider using the upload feature. The first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to select the image that you want to upload. We're going to be using the example here of a YouTube thumbnail, but this is actually applicable across many different types of assets that you might want to create. The first thing you're going to need is a URL to the image that you want to be part of your prompt. The easiest way to do that is just to copy the image onto your clipboard and then paste it into Discord. Let's get this image as an example. First, paste it into Discord, click copy image address, and when you're creating your prompt, you can just paste the image address at the beginning of the prompt. Let's look for an example or prompt from the Midjourney website. You know what I'm talking about. Feature 1. Paste it in, press enter. None of these images I really like. Let's talk about the 5th feature, the repeat function. What you're gonna do is you're gonna make the same prompt, but now add -- repeat, and then add the number of times you want to repeat. Now this one's looking a little bit better. Let's try to get multiple versions of the same YouTube thumbnail with the 6th feature we're gonna be talking about, permutations. What the permutations feature basically means is that it's similar in some ways to the repeat feature, where it's doing a similar prompt over and over again, but instead of just doing the exact same prompt to get multiple versions of the same returned image, it creates slight permutations of that prompt, allowing you to test multiple versions very quickly. Here's an example of a permutation prompt where I want multiple versions of the same prompt, but with different colors involved. Click yes to proceed. So here you can see multiple versions of the same prompt, but with slight tweaks and variations. Really helpful if you want to generate a lot of ideas very, very quickly. So far, we've been talking about Midjourney features in order to first get inspired, and then to create multiple versions of the same thing very rapidly so you can prototype and find the thing that fits your vision. But let's say you found the perfect prompt. Heck, maybe you even found the perfect prompt image that you want to be playing with. How do you fine-tune things in order to execute the vision that you have in your mind? Well, honestly, Midjourney is not the best for executing a specific vision. You still want graphic artists using tools like Photoshop in order to fine-tune things. But if you want to stick on Midjourney, here are some features you can use in order to try to execute on the vision you have in your mind. The next feature I want to talk about is the no feature. The no feature allows you to fine-tune your prompts just that bit more by saying the things you want to remove from the image. Let's say, for example, that you want a field of roses, but without the red. Just type in your prompt, and at the very end add -- no, followed by the thing that you want to have removed. This can be useful for different types of social media posts or other things where you can't quite get that perfect image that you want because the wrong things keep on appearing. The next feature I want to talk about is the very region feature. Here's an example of an image that you might want to use in some sort of social media post, but where you really realize you should have food on top of the image. What you do is you click on the Vary Region button, and then vary the region that you want to have edited by the AI. Note that the AI will note the rest of the image as context, and it will also be looking at the new prompt that you create. What you want to do here is you want to be editing more space than you think you're going to end up needing, because Midjourney does a pretty good job of repairing any areas while it's doing the variation. Let's just say put a sandwich on the plate. I think this one right here might be useful for a social media post. And now next, I want to be talking with you about some of the new features that Midjourney is rolling out. Hallelujah, we can now finally add text. No more warped text that no one can understand. The way that you unlock this feature in Midjourney is very important. You must put your words inside of quotation marks. Here's an example of one image where that was done properly. And here's an image, almost the exact same idea, but with gobbledygook. The reason why this image had gobbledygook on the sign is because the creator did not put the text inside of quotation marks. Personally, I'm super excited for this to be rolled out of alpha, where we can specifically combine this feature with the remix feature and the vary by region feature. That will really allow us to bring our art and our assets to a whole new level with using text. And now for the final feature. How do we make this YouTube thumbnail? We did it with the 10th feature in Midjourney that we think you should know about, the blend feature. The blend feature works by doing exactly what it sounds, blending multiple images together. So for instance, if you want to make a YouTube thumbnail, you might want to blend an image like this, and maybe a few others all together to create something kind of like this. What you do is just type in /blend and then upload each image individually that you want to have blended together. And voila, a whole new way of using Midjourney to create the images that you need in your business. And those are just some of the useful features that we use in our business for creating asset and marketing materials using Midjourney. If you think we missed a feature, let us know below. And if you would like a little bit more of a beginner tutorial about how to set up Midjourney and a little more step-by-step about how to get onto the platform and learn it from the ground up, let us know in the comments below as well. Hey, you made it to the video. I knew we were friends. I knew I could trust you. If you really liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, we're not friends anymore. Make sure to leave your comments down below.